Welcome to this reading of the Sedona Method. Before we begin, I want to give full credit and a sincere thank you to Hale Dwoskin and Sedona Training Associates, and to Hale personally for granting me permission to share this with you. What you're about to hear is a different kind of audiobook. I originally created this for myself as part of my own releasing practice. I learn best through repetition. Reading, writing, speaking, sharing, and most importantly, applying. So, I used to highlight the key ideas from each chapter and record voice notes to listen to on repeat throughout the day. Those early notes skipped huge sections and wouldn't make sense to anyone else. So when I decided I was going to share this publicly, I went back and added parts I'd left out. Each chapter has been rebuilt to be complete, clear, and easy to follow. If you happen to read the book alongside this audio, you'll notice that many parts are read exactly as Hale wrote them. Other parts have been reworded, and you'll often find that I've added my own reflections or connected the ideas to teachings from other authors who helped me understand these principles more deeply. You could call it a faithful modification or a personal interpretation, but nothing essential is missing. The core lessons and golden nuggets are all here, and I do my best not to drift too far from the central message. I also don't rewrite things unnecessarily. When the original wording already delivers the idea clearly, I keep it. Especially in this introduction, quite a lot remains close to Hale's original phrasing. The additions, however, are simply my interpretations. They may not reflect exactly what Hale intended, and they're not meant to. This version began as my own study practice. If you want the unfiltered teachings straight from the source, I highly recommend visiting their website. The link is in the description. I'm sharing these audios because after years of studying spirituality and self-development, I've come to believe that what this book points to is the way. Not in an exclusive sense, as if to say that the Sedona Method is the one and only key, but in the simple sense that no matter what religious affiliations you have or what your beliefs are, we are all seeking the exact same thing. Every method, every teaching, every spiritual tradition ultimately points toward letting go, toward releasing the emotional blocks and inner resistance that keeps us chasing peace where it cannot be found. As Levenson, the man who inspired the creation of the Sedona Method, said, "You never stop struggling externally for that which you already are. Make the U-turn. What you're looking for is right where I am. It's right where you are. And all this looking for it in the world, year in, year out, is such a waste of time." This book is a practical guide to making that U-turn. As you listen, if anything you hear seems to contradict teachings that have helped you in the past, that's perfectly okay. You don't need to throw anything away. Just set it aside while you explore this material. Later, you can pick everything back up and see how it fits together for you. True freedom comes from letting go of rigid positions and opening to what actually works. You don't need to be a mystic or disappear into the mountains to understand spirit, to have some control over your circumstances. All you need is a willingness to listen freshly and let the ideas speak directly to you. And one final thing before we begin. One of the main reasons I want to share this audiobook is because, to be honest, I've been stuck. I've read the book many times, made endless voice notes, and even had my own glimpses of truth, yet I still struggle to release. I still find myself wanting control, approval, and security, and then wanting to change that wanting. There's a lot of resistance I can't seem to let go of. Then I remembered a quote: "The easiest way to get what you want is to help others get what they want." Since releasing lies at the heart of why any of us want anything at all, what better way to help myself than to help you learn how to release? And maybe in listening together, we can go free together. So I hope you enjoy, and let's begin. The Sedona Method by Hale Dwoskin. Introduction. What is the Sedona Method? Picture this. You feel like your heart is warm and open. Your spine is pleasantly tingling, and your body is floating on air. As you look around the room, the colours seem brighter and the sounds clearer, like you are truly experiencing your surroundings for the first time. Your mind feels profoundly quieter, yet there are many new and wonderful possibilities floating into your awareness about how you can improve your life and live happily now. You feel relaxed and at ease, knowing that all is well and everything is unfolding as it should be. Your eyes are a little teary, because it's hard for you to believe that such simple exercises could make such a profound and immediate difference in how you feel. You are excited about the future, knowing that you can face whatever happens with a new feeling of inner strength, ease, and confidence, no matter what curves life throws your way. Best of all, you know this is just the beginning. You can easily have this type of experience for yourself, just like the tens of thousands of others who have been living and using the simple yet powerful techniques that Sedona training associates have taught for years in our live seminars and audio programs. Now these techniques are available to you in this book. Are you open to being truly happy? Are you willing to achieve everything that you've been wanting in your life? Are you ready to find what your heart has always been seeking? The Sedona Method will show you a practical way to tap an inner source of boundless happiness, to achieve your wildest dreams and highest potentials, and to become a spiritual finder instead of a seeker. Most of us crave certainty, security, and solidity that we never seem to find in the outer world, no matter how hard we try. We are all searching for the highest good, peace, fulfillment, the ultimate, in this great classroom called Earth. But we're looking for it where it isn't. Everywhere around us are men and women, weary in body, mind and soul, chasing it through travel, possessions, relationships and achievement. They go from country to country, project to project, always hoping the next horizon will bring peace, but it never does. Because they're searching without for what can only be found within. It is not hidden in the world somewhere. It's hidden in the one who looks at the world. Unless we discover it within, we will never find it at all. We may wander through countless paths of pleasure, success, status, distraction, but none will grant what the heart is really seeking. Because what we long for is not an object, not an outcome, but our very own being. Whether you realize it or not, every chase is just a hidden attempt to return home to that. The great discovery comes the moment we stop running in circles and simply turn around. When we do a U-turn back toward ourselves, we realize that what we've been chasing has been quietly present all along, right here, right now, in the stillness of our own awareness. But until you make that U-turn, you will keep banging your head against the wall of the world again and again and again and again, and still fail to find it. The truth is, we possess what could be compared to a magnificent, ever-flowing fountain of joy and vitality that's sealed behind a valve of emotional tension and disconnected from the water supply. The water, your natural state of ease, love, clarity, is already there. But every time we contract around a feeling, we tighten that valve, and yet everyone has a tool to reconnect. So I hope you're intrigued, because I would love to share a simple process with you that can deliver on this promise, the Sedona Method. The technique has already helped many thousands of people to tap their natural ability to let go of uncomfortable or unwanted emotions on the spot. Because the only thing preventing us from creating and maintaining the life we want is our limiting emotions. We let them influence our decision making. We relate to others and ourselves as though we are our feelings, saying, "I am angry," or "I am sad." We invent whole stories about why we feel the way we feel in order to justify or explain this misperception of our identity. It's not that feelings don't occasionally appear to be justified. It's just that feelings are only feelings. They are not facts. Feelings are not who we are, and we can easily let them go. Choosing to let them go frees us to perceive what is actually here, and to act or refrain from acting accordingly. You begin to see the world as it is, not as your conditioning paints it. This gives us an ability to handle life, to make stronger, clearer choices. It allows you and I to act in ways that support us in achieving our goals and aspirations. I have seen the process of letting go of emotions grow into an ability to have more money, better relationships, more radiant health and physical well-being, and an ability to be happy, calm and focused no matter what is going on around us. Sounds good, doesn't it? I thought it did back in 1976 when I met Levenson, the man who inspired the creation of the Sedona Method. Back then, I was an eager, although confused seeker. I had gone to numerous seminars, led by teachers from both the East and the West. I had studied various body-centered disciplines, including yoga and Tai Chi. I had participated in numerous personal growth courses, and at these seminars, I had many nice experiences. I had heard and understood, at least intellectually, many useful concepts, and yet I still felt incomplete. I longed for a simple and powerful answer to some important yet vexing questions like, what is my life's purpose? What is truth? Who am I? And how can I feel at home and at peace with my life? Much of what I had heard and experienced only added to my questioning. No one seemed to have truly satisfying answers, or to have truly satisfied themselves about their true nature. There was also a strong, almost universal belief that growing was hard work, that required bearing your soul and reliving painful, unresolved issues. Almost like trying to empty a lake with a teaspoon, instead of just pulling the plug. But all that changed during my very fortunate encounter with this remarkable man, Lester Levenson. I met Lester at a seminar that Lester was attending as a leader's guest. Lester's presence immediately struck me as unique. He was in total peace and equal-mindedness, very comfortable with himself. He was unassuming and easy to talk to, and treated everyone as his friend, even me, a complete stranger. It was obvious that he'd ended his search by discovering the answers I'd been seeking. When I asked Lester what he did, he invited me to a seminar that was being held the next weekend. All he would tell me was that a group of people are going to sit around a table and release. I wasn't sure what releasing meant, but I knew if it could even point me in the direction of the qualities of which Lester was the living embodiment, I definitely wanted it. I signed up on the spot. That weekend, I was in essentially the same position you're in right now. I wasn't sure exactly with what I was getting involved, and since I had done so many seminars, I also had a healthy degree of skepticism. I found myself wondering if this was going to be another one of those disappointments along the way. As the course unfolded, however, I watched myself and other people in the class shedding long-held beliefs and limitations with amazing ease and speed, yet without having to relive or explain their life stories. And since that time, I have not wavered. In the past 26 years, I've watched thousands of other people change their lives, radically yet gently, for the better, just by learning one elegantly simple yet powerful technique. As my friendship with Lester developed, I discovered more about him that confirmed my initial impressions. He was a man who had mastered life's greatest challenge. In 1952, at age 42, Lester, a physicist and successful entrepreneur, was at the pinnacle of worldly success. Yet, he was an unhappy, very unhealthy man. He had many health problems, including depression, an enlarged liver, kidney stones, spleen trouble, hyperacidity, and ulcers that had perforated his stomach and formed lesions. He was so unhealthy, in fact, that after his second coronary, his doctors sent him home to die. Instead of giving up, he decided to go back to the lab within himself and find some answers. What he found was the ultimate tool for personal growth, a way of letting go of all inner limitations. He used it intensively for a period of 3 months. By the end of that period, his body became totally healthy again. What Lester discovered firsthand is that we are all unlimited beings, limited only by the concepts of limitation that we hold in our minds. As Paramahansa Yogananda said, anything your mind can think can be materialized. There is no obstruction but your can't consciousness. These concepts of limitation are not true. Furthermore, because they're not really true, they can easily be released or discharged. Lester believed strongly that personal growth was not dependent on any external source, including a teacher, and he did not want to be anyone's guru. You've probably heard the injunction before, to thine own self be true. The author Ralph Waldo Trine taught that the highest wisdom does not arrive through the channel of another. Not a book, not a teacher, not even a sacred institution, but directly from the infinite within. Why should we go to another for knowledge and wisdom? God is within you. He is not visited upon a fortunate few and withheld from others, but is totally existent in the heart of each of us. The moment we turn inward and go directly to the infinite source, we are no longer slaves to personalities, to systems, or to outer authorities. Teachers may guide us, books may inspire us, but they are agencies, not sources. As Browning said, truth is within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things, whatever you may believe. There is an inmost centre in us all, where truth abides in fullness. And it was this same truth that Lester sought to awaken in others. That each of us has within us the complete ability to be free, without the need for dependency on another person. Yet because of how elevated people felt around him, despite his attempts to avoid it happening, many of Lester's students insisted on seeing him as a guru. So, in 1973, Lester realized that his teachings needed to be formalized into a system that he could allow others to teach, leaving him out of the equation. A way to transform his powerful techniques for personal growth into a do-it-yourself system was devised, which is now called the Sedona Method, the topic of this book. Working with Lester afforded me the opportunity to spend more time with him, observe him in action, and see how he dealt with life's inevitable challenges. He was a living example, rather than a pontificator. As I worked with the method in my business and personal life, I became even more convinced that I'd found a technique that could help anyone. During this same period, I decided to participate more actively, full-time, in the world of business. For the first time in our lives, my brother and I became friends. I was able to release the old baggage that I had been carrying around about our earlier relationship, and we became a terrific business team. We were having a recurring problem, however, of starting many more deals than we were actually closing. Then, one day, out of the blue, Lester called me up to see how I was doing. I explained what was happening, and he said one sentence that totally turned around our closing ratio and the rest of my business career. He simply said, "Bank in the bank, not in your head." Without me saying anything about it, he had picked up on a tendency that I and most other people in the sales profession have, which is head banking. I was so busy imagining how great it was going to be when I closed each deal that I was neglecting actually closing them. As soon as I started releasing instead of fantasizing, we started to close a lot more deals. Another important lesson about letting go was learned when I received a listing for 9 shopping centres from what was known in the industry as a Xerox broker. A Xerox broker simply copies listings from other brokers and sends them around without ever bothering to check the facts or get in contact with the actual owner or listing agent. Excited, I sent a copy of the listing to one of my better customers, and he shot me back an immediate, almost full-priced offer. Of course, I was excited, so I picked up the phone to call the man I thought was the principal, only to discover that the listing had come from a Xerox broker with no way of contacting the true owner. Distraught, I realized there was nothing to do but let go. So, I did. I cleared my mind and released all my feelings about the situation until I reached a point where it was okay whether or not I ever made a deal. The very next phone call in our office was from the actual principal of the shopping centres, responding to an ad looking for properties that we just happened to have running in the Wall Street Journal. When he offered us the listing on the very same property, I nearly fell over. This is only one of many events that have led me to understand that a statement I'd heard repeatedly from Lester is absolutely true. Even the impossible becomes completely possible when you are fully released on it. One of the things that impresses me most about the process of releasing is that it has resulted in a sense of unshakable peace, happiness, joy, and calmness that is always with me, no matter what's going on around me. Not that there still aren't ups and downs, but, as Lester used to say, this is really the bottoms-up method. I know from my own direct experience that what I used to think was a peak experience or something really terrific is now normal, and my peaks just keep getting higher and higher. I have no idea how far up is, and I'm looking forward to finding out. The good news is that the good I have experienced using the method isn't unique. People around the world have been able to produce the same kind of phenomenal results in their lives. In this book, you'll be learning the Sedona Method, a technique that you can use every day for the rest of your life. As you begin letting go of all the emotional baggage that's been getting in the way of you doing what you already know you should be doing and want to be doing, you'll find yourself becoming increasingly successful at everything you do. This book will not give you a whole new list of shoulds and shouldn'ts or new behaviours you must try to implement in your life. We are already shoulding on ourselves enough. Instead, you'll be learning how to change yourself from the inside out. When you change yourself from the inside out, the changes are permanent. In addition, as you experiment with this simple system in your life, you'll keep discovering more ways that you can apply it. Whatever initial insights you gain from reading this book and working with the method are only the tip of the iceberg. This single technique can affect every part of your life because it's built on the fact that we are already unlimited beings. If you think back over your life, you've probably had glimpses of this unlimited state, which is natural to us all. You've probably also had glimpses or periods where you felt like you were in a state of flow. Moments in which everything seemed to click and work effortlessly. Through using the Sedona Method, it is possible for you to experience the flow as part of your everyday life from now on. I don't know what kind of reader you are. You may be the type who participates fully in what you read, or you may just collect useful ideas that you can call on later as you choose. I recommend you participate fully and do all the exercises presented in this book. In my experience, the only way that you can effectively learn how to let go is by doing it yourself. Direct experience. Additional benefits will be gained from reading this book repeatedly, as that's how you'll learn and integrate the practical skill of tapping your natural ability to let go of limitation. As with any other skill, repetition is key. Repetition, repetition, repetition. In part 1, we'll explore the basics of the letting go process and the underlying motivations for inner limitation. You'll be introduced to various techniques that can accelerate you on the path to freedom, such as ways for coping with resistance, being present, resolving your feelings about past conflicts, achieving your goals, and balancing the positive and negative sides of emotional equations. In part 2, we'll explore some of the specific areas of your life where the Sedona Method can have a strong, positive impact. These include finding freedom from guilt, shame, fear and anxiety, breaking habits, building wealth, operating a business, improving relationships, developing radiant health, and contributing to the creation of a harmonious and peaceful world. Please work with the material in order. Each chapter builds a solid foundation for the ones that follow. You will not have learned all that you can from this book until you've worked with the chapters in order and done your best to apply what you're learning in your daily life. If you want to go still further after you complete this book, Sedona Training Associates offers an audio tape version of this course, as well as live seminars in many major cities throughout the United States and the rest of the world. Please don't believe anything in this book unless you can prove it for yourself. Just because something is written doesn't make it true. Lester always warned against accepting any teaching on blind faith, even his own. Instead, he encouraged what he called taking it for checking. In other words, stay open but verify through your own direct experience. Treat this book as an experiment in growth. The Sedona Method isn't meant to be another belief system. It's a tool for discovery. Most people discover that releasing beautifully complements whatever other techniques and therapies they already use. Above all, be gentle with yourself as you move through this work. Be your own ally, friend and supporter, not a drill sergeant. Transform yourself through the experience of joy. Let change come through curiosity. Soon, you'll be making many interesting and inspiring discoveries about ways that you've been limiting yourself. And as those limits fall away, you'll feel lighter, happier, and more at ease. The Sedona Method simply reminds you of what your spirit already knows, that freedom and happiness are available now, not some far-off day in the future when you've earned them. You don't have to wait to be ready or to feel like you've worked hard enough to deserve it. You can allow joy to find you here, in this moment. We have reason for joy and to delight now.